Welcome to this course Basic Manufacturing Process Unit 4 and Lectures 84 Production of Metal Powder. Agenda for today present in this video. So, centering method and secondary operation for the production of the powder and application of the powder metallurgy and some topic is presented to the plastics. Okay, plastic I am also present for before videos. The secondary operation. What is the secondary operation? In this operation, included to the included to the manufacturing process for the reversing the pressing is the centered to the part in the closed die of the increase the density and improve the property of the powder. And the second is the coining. Coining is it is the operation working operation on the centered to part of the press detail into the surface of the is achieved for this is the metal powder is the working on the it content to the very smooth surface of the product and sieging. This is the operation for the sieging is the operation for the pressing of the center centered part of the improve the dimensional accuracy. This is the powder is application of the manufacturing in the make for the product other three-dimensional two-dimensional product is the dimensional is very is accuracy is the very smooth surface is machining creates the geometric features and constant cannot be achieved by the pressing of the such as the threads, sides, holes, and other details in the given to the product of the dimensions and side one side and two side and other side is the three-dimensional and three side of the structure of the product. Forging is the operation. In this operation is the by application of the powder metallurgy is the connected to the powder is the sufficient temperature required for the is converted into the molten form. The mold metal is the is the mold metal is the port form the mold cavity is then just solidify. The solidification of the metal is out of the product to the mold cavity is the then after the fabrication process of the this is converted to the useful of product. Heat treating it is additional to the hardening of in this process heat treating in this process is the achieved and made by the strong surface of the product surface. Then addition of the painting of the carbons adding for the other elements in this operation. Steam tra- treating is the opted for the oxide surface containing. Uh, in this operation is the content for oxide matters oxide in the product surface. The planting plating is to the obtain the specific surface finish and colors on the product. Joining joining is the process for the joining the two or three metal pieces is the uh, two or three metal pieces by using of the welding operations. And the welding operations assembly for related to part is the typical joining the methods welding, brazing, the and soldering operation. In infiltration is the process for the also for fill in the metal on the lower melting point. Suppose the example the the steel part can be infiltrated to by copper or bronze. Okay. This added to the strength and the hardening of the hard part of the materials. The application of the powder metallurgy. The powder metallurgy process is beginning used to protect product and thousands of different parts in most of product is equipment manufacturing industry and application of the metal forging operation, casting operation, and machining operation is the by use for the making for the production industry or by required for the powder metallurgy is most important. The powder metallurgy is the production industry is the main part of the industry. And to first included the application in which one the part of the impossible to make the any other methods in application of the powder metallurgy in provided to the manufacturing operation and production process. Powder metallurgy it is the only way from the forging forming virtual metals to such that the tungsten carbide is and dispersion of the strengthened and material upper alloys and self lubricating bearings in application of the materials in the materials is the liquid form of the is sufficient of the lubricating oils and required for the bearings. The porous bearing is and is the types of the magnetic cores and the main course of the accessories of the powder metallurgy product is the very sufficient and very strong product to the powder metallurgy. The application is continue of the present the brief of the powder metallurgy is used in the manufacturing and production of the many components is required. Automobile industry is the also application of the powder metallurgy in the making for the motors, gears, assembly, brake parts and gears and other extra components is made for the and abrasive for the in the powder metallurgy application of this operation, the polishing and grinding wheels in the required for the powder metallurgy in the finishing process. Manufacturing, cutting and drilling tools are using hard metals to application of the powder metallurgy, electric and magnetic devices. The application of the powder metals is the application of magnetic and electric magnetic devices, magnetic and soft magnetic cores and brattles, the medicals and dentals application. The the processes of the analyzing of the materials. The aerospace industry in application of the powder metallurgy, the use for the make for the motors, heat sliders and structural part of component of the application of the product. Welding in also used for the product is soldering and solder for the electrodes. Energy this is the use for the product metal powder for electrode fuel cells in the energy of the component. The others the powder metallurgy also used for the other factors of component porous filters in application for bearing materials and exporting for goods and uh, this is the whole component of the in applications of the powder metallurgy is made from the different as design and size of the product is converted to the forging operation and casting operation of the product is made. Plastic is the plastic is the organic polymers materials in the non-conductor of materials and non-metals. This is the plastic is the most important property of the plastic is there's a very lightweight materials and this is the and plastic polymers soften and heat and machined and and welded for the very easily. And then application is most for the and the sufficient property of the plastic is the known color of the. This is the required for the and requirement of the field, and application of the product is required for the color. Choose for the colors of the products related to the cooling. The porous can be repeated. Chorus can be repeated on many times of the alternative heating and cooling within the minimum degradation of the polymer structures in the application. Thermoset plastic, the thermosetting polymer or the thermoset cannot be softened and reheated to the heating. They are plastic and the malleable for some of state of the processing of, but finally set to the rigid solid and cannot be softened of the material in the application of the plastics. The thermoset plastics are generalized used for the stronger and stiffer than the thermoplastic of the material is the general application of the in the electrical and electronics insulator and the switch off board is the application of this plastic and the plastic and the polymers of the process and the processing the melting process. The plastic is the easily melt for the and machining and lightweight material. The melting process is the most important of the economical way from the shaping of plastics. It is be the use for those thermoplastic with the melting point and viscosity of the plastic. The plastic is the specific density varies from 1 to 2.4. For this is the very light on the application of the material is a low enough for not for subjected to a dye material material to the excess of the temperature and stress for the plastic melting. The melt processing for the thermoplastic processing for the thermoplastic. The raw materials is to be processed is usually the supplied in the form of regular shape of even size of granules for because it is the likely to the of the plastic squeezing the melting of easy for the quicker and lead to more uniform and predictable for heating of the material. The one technique is also used for which has been developed for the recently. It is the polluted area for the environment and impregnated to the continuous fiber revolving for the procedure is process or the lashes of which is the chopped into the 10 of length of the product. This the polymers and the organic polymers is used for the very sufficient in areas, but it is the very polluted areas. But application of the very sufficient is the collected to the raw is it the destroy of the polymers product is the collected from the one place. This is the recycling process of the recycling process of the product is application of the polymers. The plastic polymers process is for the most important for the some of process used in the recycling operation of the polymers. The most important processing are the process for involved by the squeezing used for screw pump. Screw pump is required for the of the material. Um, this is the screw injection molding operation. This is the whole procedure of the injection of the molding in the application. This is the motor drive of the power supply of this procedure. This is the RAM. This is the procedure of the RAM. Is the hopper. Hopper is the working from the collected to the raw material of the polymer, non-organic polymers, and this is the apply for this powder for the polymers in the this is the hole for screw for the screw of rotating motion and the heating band. This is the band is application of the heat provided to the screw or in the inert surface inert into the is generated with the fill liquid form of the plastic in the block. The barrel. This is the barrel of the design for the supported content consisting of the size of the. This is the nozzle. Nozzle is the very powerful supply for the liquid metal into the mold cavity. The this is the mold is the mold of the product, and this is the sufficient of die one and die the left hand side die and the right hand side die. This is the mold is the generated to the between. This is the mold of all the whole of the area of the uh, of the mold is the nozzle is the work from the reservoir of the liquid metal of the liquid metal is the non of the organic polymers of the plastics of this procedure. The the granulars are feed into the heated the cylinder, heated and cylinder by screw. Heated. This is the heating and cylinder, and consisting with the help of the screw. The first recognized to provided the space for the material and the advance to inject into the relative cold mode of the set of the procedure. This is the apply for the force of the ram, and screw gauge is also provided the liquid metal into the passes through the nozzle. Nozzle is the this enter from the mold cavity of this the liquid metal for the pouring full of the product is the so then after solidify of the product and out take out for the mold cavity. Okay, this is the finally product in the fabrication after the solidification, and then after further fabrication operation applied to the product, and product is the very smooth and useful of the product it completely take. Thank you so much.